If you've been wondering whether I gave up on something I started talking about a while back, I didn't. I went quiet about it on purpose, and I think you deserve the honest reason why, instead of just picking back up like nothing happened. A few months back, I was talking pretty regularly about a business thing I'd found. Then I pulled back, almost all the way back. Some of you noticed, a few of you asked in the comments and in messages, did he stop? Did it not work out? Is he done with that? Here's the truth. This page started as a place for encouragement. That was the whole point of it from the beginning. And somewhere in the middle of talking about the business side of things, I started worrying I was going to turn this into something it was never supposed to be. Another page selling you something instead of a place that actually meant something to people. So I went quiet on purpose. I wanted to protect what this was before I worried about what it could earn. Let me back up and tell you the whole thing because I don't think I've ever told it slow, start to finish in one sitting. Last October, I was finishing up my beekeeping season. I kept 60 hives. Every fall, there's a process, getting them fed, getting them wrapped, getting them ready for 5 months of cold weather where there's not a whole lot for a beekeeper to do but wait. I had time on my hands I wasn't used to having. A friend sent me a link. I almost didn't open it. I want to be honest about that part because I think it matters. I've tried 8 or 10 things over 40 years that didn't pan out. Businesses, side ventures, things I put real hope into that didn't go anywhere. By the time that link showed up, I'd built a pretty thick wall of I've heard this before. Something made me look anyway. 9 hours of content later, I was still watching. That was 7 months ago. Since then, there's been a lot. Over 1.5 million views on this page, a small community I built called The Next Step, a YouTube channel I'm sitting here talking to you on right now. None of that was the plan. I didn't sit down last October and map out where this would go. I just kept saying yes to the next thing in front of me. But here's the part I hadn't said much about, the honest middle of it. It wasn't smooth. I was confused more than I let on. I didn't understand half the words being used the first month. I made mistakes nobody saw, and a few everybody did. There's a typo I made in a post a while back that somebody pointed out, and I told them straight. That's what happens when you're in a hurry and you're old. Got a laugh out of it. Still true, though. And somewhere in the middle of all that, the community I built, The Next Step, turned into something I didn't plan for either. I built it thinking I'd eventually be a place to do some of the business side of things. What it actually became was a place where people show up for encouragement, for faith, for somebody a little further down the road willing to talk to them. I thought about that a lot. I don't think that happened by accident. I think that's God taking something I built with one purpose in mind and quietly redirecting it towards something better. I didn't want to mess with that by turning it into a sales pitch, so I protected it. Went quiet on the business talk. Let the page be what it was becoming. I've said this before, and I'll keep saying it. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. I didn't know where any of this was leading back in October. I still don't fully know where it's leading now. What I've learned watching God work for 77 years is that He doesn't usually hand you the whole staircase. He shows you the next step. You take it, then He shows you the one after that. That's been true of my faith my whole life. Turns out it's been just as true of this. So that's the honest update. Still doing it, still mine, still part of the picture, even on the weeks I don't talk about it much. If any of this sounds familiar, if you've got a friend's link sitting somewhere you haven't opened yet, or you're just curious what an old beekeeper found that's kept his attention this long, I left a link in the description. Take a look when you're ready. There's no pressure. Just the next step if you want it.